Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Breakable. So I've been MIA for like give or take 3 months or so. This is gonna be the first video since that time. So today's episode gonna be a bit different. It's less about how things been done and more of like an update of the E46 WAGON project. So let's get rolling. The engine is currently in the engine bay. I believe the last video we had the engine out, and since then I redid the gaskets and things like that on the engine, cleaned it up a bit, and threw it back in to get some measurements, mark up the downpipe and the AC lines and the radiator mount, and yeah, did quite a bit of things. The only difference, I did not throw a video about it. I did shoot most of the stuff. It just, it got lost in translation at some point. Eventually, you're gonna see a video of me building the radiator support. There's a lot of modification, and I had to build a completely different one. You'll see a video of me doing the walnut blasting and cleaning up the engine, changing some of the gaskets. I did get the downpipe done. It's a custom downpipe. So the actual downpipe on what I had was a 3-inch out of the turbo, and it just tapers down to a 2.75. So instead of tapering it down by where it joins to the rest of the exhaust, I had to bring it forward so it's 3-inch out of the turbos, and before it turns over, it gets tapered down to 2.75 and goes through. I had to do that because I did not want to cut the subframe, and yeah, there's not much space. So yeah, that's that. What else? Oh, I threw in the wiring, most of it. I replaced the ABS pump. I'll show you guys that as well. I threw in the E90, the radiator, and then the condenser. Then I had the, the thing where the turbo sends the air and comes out. Intercooler. There you go. Drew a blank. Anyway, so the top end I had to get from a 2003 330 Ci because it's a cast iron one, and the one I had was just, I believe it's aluminum or something. So this, since it's cast, it's more rigid, and I could kind of modify it to fit. I had to cut the centerpiece where the radiator fan fits in, and build my own cradle at the bottom so it'll hold the intercooler and the radiator. I had to make a couple of brackets on the top for the to keep it in position, but that shouldn't be a problem. And ABS pump, it's actually the pump from E90 itself, because I'm replacing the wiring from E90, and I believe some of the sensors which comes from the side, it's not on the E90 side, so I figured it should be incorporated into the ABS pump. So I figured it fits in right, so I had to modify the bracket at the bottom a little bit. So I had to cut in the E90 bracket and then cut in the E46 and weld it together and make a bracket which would fit. So that's that. And then this is me marking, and with all these leaves, you could tell it's been a while since I've done anything to it. Anyway, here's the AC line. So after all that, I got the heater core set in, and this, I believe, I forgot the name, purge valve. It's where it turns the liquid into gas, so I forgot the name for it. Anyway, I bended the tube of the E90 slightly so it'll fit in that gap, and it comes here and it fits into the condenser, no problem. It's still mocked up, it's not fully settled in because I had to take it out, take the engine out, clean up a little bit, and throw it back in. The heater core, tubes and everything fits in. I have enough space. It's a little bit tight, but it should work out. But I just marked it up for the moment, and we're good with that. The custom downpipes I got, it'll fit in. I don't have it in yet, so we'll get to that when it comes to that point. I pulled the wiring from both driver's side and the passenger side for the E90, so that's taken care of. I threw in my custom made crossbar and mounted the heater core, and I was just trying to figure out where all the wiring goes. Yeah, that's that. So it's still mostly E90 wiring. I don't know, it's my head kind of hurts when I look at this, but you know, it has to be done. But I'm not more concerned about it. So my plan is to replace the door wiring from E90 onto E46. I'm gonna lose some of the sensors and things it has, but I figured I should be able to manage it. But we'll see how it works out. To be honest, at this point, I feel like it would have been easier for me to leave E46 you know, interior and wiring in, and could have just got a standalone ECU and wiring for the N54. But well, we started like how hard it can be, right? It is really difficult. Anyway, so oh yeah, let me show the other side. I feel kind of stupid for, I don't know. I mean, it's done is done. Since I already cut the bulkhead and started doing the heater coat in, I cannot go back. I have to stick with the E90 wiring at this point. I think at the end it'll pay off with all the amenities from E90 if I can get it to work. But you know, at this point I'm more concerned about starting the car. So the pedal assembly I actually borrowed, since this car used to be an auto. I borrowed the pedal assembly from another E46, and then only thing I had to do was add the, I don't know if you can see it, there you go, add the E90 master cylinder in, because the clutch switch kind of, you know, gets sticked into the E90 master cylinder, and that was more kind of like a plug and play. I just had to take it apart, the master cylinder, and throw it in. I think I should have a video on that. I'm not sure. I'll upload it. At this point, I have a GARAGISTIC shifter, but the existing E90 shifter lever is about, I would say, about an inch shorter. So I gotta take it out, maybe cut it out and extend it a little bit. We'll see how I can manage that. But yeah, that's it. That's it for now, I think. So what I'm gonna start doing, probably start taking the engine out. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, I think. Yeah, I'll probably just start taking the engine out and then go from there. Now that I've taken the engine out, I had a few places where I had damaged while I was trying to put it. So I did some primer over there. I'm gonna do some paint. I had to knock right here a little bit because the charge pipe was hitting. And this is where I had to cut the rails a little bit so the radiator will fit from E90. I've been working on this. So this is the E90 heater core and the outlet. So when I did cut the cowl, I did kind of cut it extra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this foam, I believe. It's heat resistant and all that good stuff. And yeah, let's go ahead. It's on, shake it, and if I did a little bit too much, but yeah, I'm gonna expand and see how it comes out. So now that the foam is expanding, I'm gonna give it a couple of hours until it gets fully expanded, I guess. There are a couple of things I had to do to the engine before I throw it back in. I had to put the you know, the AC power steering pump, and some of the things I had to bolt on because I won't be able to bolt on once I put it on the car. One of the important things is the shifter linkage. So the current E90 shifter linkage is about an inch shorter than what I need it to be. So I figured I'm gonna cut it where the marks are, and I'm gonna add one of these extended bolts and this rod. So I'm gonna weld those two ends in between. That way I can, you know, depending on if I need to extend it or not, I can adjust it as much as I can. So there's about, you know, I have screwed the bolt like halfway in, so I have about a half an inch adjustability on it. But yeah, so let's cut the shifter linkage and then you know, work on that. So I'm done building my shifter selector linkage, so it can adjust right now. So I have it painted and I'm just waiting till it dry. So I'm gonna have to pause the video right there for a second and walk you through this image right now. So if you see on the left is the N54 manual transmission output flange, and on the right is the E46 M3 output flange. Right out of the bat, height difference is quite obvious. The N54 is about an inch or so higher than the E46. I wasn't thinking much of it because the grooves fitted the output shaft itself, and I was able to tighten it, and the flange seals itself. Until a subscriber from Netherlands, Dennis van der Zwaan. I hope I didn't mess up his last name. Anyway, then he started messaging me, and he had done some extensive research, and here's some of the videos he sent me.
I let this hole in the old one, I let them further down. It's from the top normally 9 millimeters down to there, and I let this ring, I call it the ring, from the original one, even kijken, I let it take it off. This is from the E90 series from BMW. You can see I put it in, and I take 2 millimeters off of it, 2 millimeters off. Otherwise he's too high, very too high. When you put him in over here, it's too high. So if I do everything good, then it will be fit. Yeah, I will show you. I make it 50 right now. 50, I'll make it. This from the M3. M3 is this. And also the other one. I hope so I can help you with it, with this.
So when I did the output flange does not seat all the way into transmission and stay flat. It's in there, but it's not fully pushed in. What Dennis was saying is to cut the top end from the N54 manual transmission output flange as a ring, put it over the output shaft, and so it sits there, and then reduce 2 millimeters from the E46 M3 output flange and push it behind it so it'll sit flush with the back plate of the inside of the transmission. On top of that, he reduced the outer diameter of the M3 output flange from 52 millimeters to 50 millimeters. Like when I put it in, it was really sealed in. The M3 output flange was really sealed in with the gasket. There's so that 2 millimeter difference, maybe it could make a difference. So that being said, I didn't do the same method he does because I don't have the tooling or the knowledge to do it. I could get someone else to do it, but what I'm doing is I'm just throwing the E46 flange in, and I'm gonna see if it makes any difference. If it does, hopefully it doesn't damage the transmission, and then I can go with the way that Dennis did. Yeah, that's about it. So I guess you could figure out what you want to do when it comes to that part of the project, and let's continue. So until it dry, I thought I'll put my, whatever you call it, the heat shield, or the firewall shield, except that's kind of already crap. So what I did was I bought this heat shield wrap, I think. I'm not sure exactly what you call it. I'm gonna give it a try and see if I can stop pasting over there. So let's get going. So here's the engine bay wrapped in gold heat shield sticker, whatever it is. So I guess I overestimated my abilities to do things, and I kind of, Anyway, so I tried laying like as a huge sheet itself, by the sheet itself, and it did not work out. So I ended up cutting into smaller pieces and just kept pasting on top of each other, like a collage, I guess. It's all right. It doesn't look that bad, but as long as it's function as it is, like as long as it just avoid burning the paint and things like that. That's the whole point of it. Anyway, so I put the rest of the heat shield and whatever it is, and this is a E90 AC line. I had to bend it a little bit, like right here and here, so it's connected. I just test. I left it like that just to test out how it's gonna be. And then I've been just working on the engine. So here's my the shifter linkage I made, so it's adjustable, so I can screw this part in, and then I can use this nut to lock it in place so it won't move or turn afterwards. So that's ready. This is a new gizmo, and so I'm putting all the other stuff like the alternator, AC compressor, and things like that. I'm hoping that will be the last time I put in the engine, and after this I could start it. So I replaced the gebo, and then I was like, oh, I have to change the center align bushing on the drive shaft, and here it is. So I did all of that within half a day, and I've been struggling for almost a day and a half. Yeah, I started working yesterday, and it's today, almost half a day I've been struggling with this. So I tried to pull it did not work, and you see I have all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to get it out, but what's been working is I've been stuffing like wet paper towel like this, stuffing in there, and just I'm using like a old crankshaft bullet. I'll just throw it in there and keep hitting it until it just starts coming out. So I don't know if you can see it. This was the mark when it was in, and now it's slightly coming out. Anyway, so I had the prop shaft in, like last time when I did the rear end, I put the prop shaft and everything in, but it's easier to take it out because I've been struggling with this, so I figured I'll just take the whole thing out and bang it out. Anyway, so that's about it for now, so I'll keep going, and I'll update you guys. So here's the GARAGISTIC chassis mount shifter. It's, I believe, the medium length. Anyway, let me show you how it's mounted. So it's the Allen bolts screwed in to mount it to the chassis, and let me show you from the bottom. The new M3 gebo is in. Everything is tightened up. I don't know if I can show you the shifter linkage. There's the adjustable shifter linkage, and it's mounted now. So I believe that's about it from the transmission side. Everything is bolted up, and let's go to the charge pipe. Charge pipe is tightened up, but it's there's space, but it's pretty close. Let me see how can I show you guys the space. So I don't know if you can see it. It's not hitting. There's like a hair space between the charge pipe and the chassis. On this side, it looks like it's hitting here, but if you look from the top, there's, because it's the chassis comes out a bit at the bottom. So from the top, it's almost just like a hairline space right there. Assume it's good enough for now. Maybe if it starts rubbing, I could think about something else. But for now, charge pipe is done. Time to put the downpipe on. Here's the downpipe. So I'm using the 3-inch outlet coming off the turbo. Then there's an adapter to take the I think it's 2.75 from there onwards. So there's the front turbo and there's the rear turbo. So yeah, let's throw these on and see how it fits. So this is the E90 steering column's bottom shaft, and this is the E46 one. So if you check the length, it's about a couple of inches longer. Since it's a couple of inches longer, this the end by the firewall is keep hitting the the firewall itself. So the idea is to cut down the E90 shaft, because I couldn't put the E46 bottom shaft into the E90 column because the collar is different size and it has a groove on a different location. So the best bet is to cut the E90 bottom shaft and slide it onto the E46, I guess the gebo, or the chaining thing. It should fit because it's basically a slotted in. So let's see how it goes. So E90 shaft with the E46 gebo. So this is the end which connects to the steering column. So let's see if it worked out. So here's the bottom part of the steering column. It's not hitting anything. Fits perfectly, and there's plenty of space between the oil pan, the motor mount, and everything else. I'm just gonna bolt up the steering column and see how it works out. Alright guys, so here it is. I put everything up on the car so I can mock up and see how it fits. So far so good. The intercooler piping is a bit tight, and if you can see it, the thing is the intercooler connects to the radiator, and I cannot move the radiator anymore because it's like millimeters away from the frame. Like you can see that space right there. So I had to figure that out because that alignment kind of comes here too. Maybe I could use a C-clamp and call it a day. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Other than that, the AC lines all connects, quite good. The compressor and so on. I tried, mocking up the heater core lines. They seems to be fine. The only thing is I'll have to make some brackets for the bottom line right here, so it'll sit like right around there. The downpipe, it seems to fit okay. The other issue I'm having is power steering rack. So it's an E46 rack, and I was trying to use the E90 reservoir with the lines. The only thing is when I did build the whole the front radiator support, I didn't put the power steering cooler because I couldn't get the lines through because I'm already pretty tight right here on the headlight. So I don't know, I'm thinking maybe to use the E46 the reservoir with the E46 lines, That way I could, you know, I don't have to figure out a way to build the power steering rack cooler. But let me know in the comment, like, I don't know if it's really important to have a power steering cooler. I'm still thinking about it. The charge pipe seems to be okay. I mean, I have plenty of space for the what do you call it? Forgot the name. Intake manifold. There you go. I have plenty of space for the intake manifold, and yeah. Here's the E90 reservoir. I probably had to make some brackets to put it in. It's all currently mocked up. I think I'm done with everything in the bottom up to the transmission. Here's the shifter. It's the shifts are really short throws, which is, I guess, good. I don't know. The steering rack is bolted on and it's connected, so I don't have to worry about it. I have full adjustability as in the E90, and yeah, that's about it. I didn't show everything how I did it because I was trying to get most of the stuff mocked up and not really trying to fit everything. But I think this will be the end of me trying to take the engine out, hopefully. Alright guys, we're done for the day. Actually, we're done for the whole weekend. It's been 3 days. I've been wrenching for the last 3 days trying to get most of the stuff done. I'm sorry this video is not a how-to kind of a video. It's more like a situation update, like what's happening with the wagon build itself. Because it's been, like I said earlier, about 3 to 4 months since I did an update. But I mean, since I did a video, but I have been working on the car whenever I get a chance. In terms of the car, I think I can say we have the whole drivetrain bolted up and, you know, ready to go. The rear end, transmission, engine, everything is bolted out. I'm not planning to take the engine out again, hopefully, fingers crossed. We have the shifter linkage, shifter, power steering rack, steering column, heater coil. Yeah, I do have some of the videos of me redoing the engine in terms of walnut blasting and replacing some of the gaskets and fitting it up. Plus, I think I do have a video on doing the front end, on building the support for the intercooler radio and all that stuff. I just haven't had the time to edit the videos and throw them on yet. That's about it for today, guys. If you do like the video, hit a like, and if you have not subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button. That helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys next time. Keep breaking bolts.